What's up, everybody? This is Kenny Cummins here of Chilling with Kenny C right here on tmvcafe.com, bringing you entertainment to your ears. My guests of the evenings coming to you for the Lone Star State, originally for Corpus Christi, Texas, currently residing in Austin, Texas, ATX. Shout out to everyone down there. His latest single is called Famous. That song is out on all digital music streaming platforms right now. He goes by the name of A.B. Dvinci. He's with me right now. What's going on?
How you doing? Glad to be here. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
I appreciate you, man. I definitely see you in the holiday spirit. Christmas tree right behind you there. You in the
Yeah,
holiday spirit, you know?
we're in a little family game room and we got the white tree this year.
Okay.
I'm gonna go bigger next year. I'm gonna get the big grandiose green forest looking tree with the fake snow on it, but we went the white tree this year. It's all right. But
Yeah,
yeah, we're getting
you
in the
know,
spirit.
that's cool. Seems like everybody goes with the traditional green tree, whatever works for whatever the preference may be for people. Sometimes, even in the holiday season, you gotta switch it up. So the fact that I'm seeing a different tree to what people are accustomed to, it's showing that people doing some different, but still keep the holidays spirit in there somehow. Uh,
Exactly right. That was the idea. We wanted to switch it up because that's how we were feeling. Like everyone has the green tree. We just wanted to be a little different to see how it looked because you never know until you put it up yourself. So let's try it. It was on sale. We put it up and it's not too shabby.
yeah.
It's a nice change.
I mean, who knows? Somebody goes to the crib, see that. Maybe it might encourage them to switch it up, You never know. Might be starting a trend, might be seeing a bunch of white trees
No,
come next year, so
yeah,
who knows?
it's known to
Um,
happen. We start
yeah,
trends every now and then.
yeah. That's how it is, man. So man, I've been interviewing a lot of artists from Texas, from mostly in Austin, Texas in particular. So with that being said, man, talk about how your music journey got started. What got you into pursuing music?
I would always write poetry since I was maybe in middle school. And I had a bunch of stacks of poetry turned into rhymes, and hip hop and freestyling and battling and just ciphers and even people like high school kids my age recording was really kind of common in my area in Corpus Christi, Texas. Like you step outside and it's just all kinds of elements of hip hop from breakdancing. And I got kind of pulled into like freestyle sessions at the house parties and when we would DJ things of that nature, and I always grab the mic and kind of just kick like a poem or something that I'd written, you know what I mean, like and see how it would translate over a beat, see if anyone would just comment on it, negative, positive, um, and all my friends would be like, "Hey, that was nice, that was good." You got something like you got away with words, you got a nice vocabulary, and I just kind of went from there. You know, I was always into b-boying and DJing, but when I fell into MCing, I just fell in love with it and kept just getting validation. So I dropped a mixtape, and it never stopped.
Yeah, poetry has always been the art form. You can honestly say that it's the biggest influence as it pertains to hip hop because you're putting words together. It's you're speaking from your experience or someone else's experience. You're speaking how you're feeling at the time. And a lot of artists, hip hop in particular, that's just how it starts for some people. Just the poetry, just going to poet shows, showcases, poetry jams, things like that, and getting the words out. Giving you that platform to form of expression. And that's what it got to me as a hip hop fan, like just seeing words put together, whether it's flashy stuff or just real life experience. People just, it takes a lot of work to put these words together, especially in the form of a song. And
Mhm.
it's always intriguing how the countless hours writing these songs and being in the studio and putting it all together, man. It has to be overwhelming at times, does it?
It does if you're kind of like me and you put a pressure on yourself and you kind of give yourself these internal deadlines and you're like, man, I gotta complete this project. I need to drop something, or you feel competitive and you feel like everyone else is dropping hot projects, hot videos, and you haven't dropped something in a while, you kind of feel like you're slipping into maybe relevancy or just you kind of feel out of sight, out of mind, then it can become overwhelming. But if you disconnect from these like imaginary deadlines, and these pressures that you put on yourself, then it's more euphoric, more uh, like a therapeutic, if anything. So it all depends how you take it. And sometimes you have to remind yourself, hey man, like slow down. You got into it because you loved writing poetry. Like that's the whole root of it. That's why you started it. Like it wasn't to do anything else, but you just like doing it. So calm down. And then you also sometimes be like, no, it's been a while since you've dropped something. And as if you're going to be a serious artist and your fans or followers or just casual listeners want something, you got to give them something. So it's a balance.
Yeah, definitely the way to go, obviously. As far as, that's the beauty of being an independent artist. Like you literally don't have a deadline. You just do whatever you want and put out the music the way you want to with no A&R, with no record executive. Like this is literally coming from you, the artist, and take it or leave it per se. And you know, and people are gonna walk with it or they don't. But at least it's coming from you at the end of the day, and that's people gonna walk with it. So probably and I've been listening to your joints since we scheduled this interview. The famous joint, that's your latest single. Came out this past September featuring Gabe Parker. Um, I like the cover, you in the magazine. Says AB Dvinci's back, you know what I'm saying? Very GQ-ish there. Uh Talk about this song, man. This seems self-explanatory if people really listen to it, but talk about how that song got put together. How did you link up with Gabe Parker for Famous?
Yeah, thank you on the commentary for the cover. That came from my noodle. So I'll take a little gratuitous credit for that right there. But shout out to my guy Keith Ramiro out there from Corpus Christi, who is the graphic designer. So I'll tell him my idea. It's something as simple as a Facebook inbox, and he'll know exactly what I want, and he'll make it happen on the Photoshop. That's not me on the Photoshop. That's just my idea for the famous record. Um, Gabe Parker is someone I've known for since 2004, 2005, roughly. So we're going on 20 years. And I know him through my brother, Immaculate Emmett Basie. And that's his producer. Yeah, Immaculate is a rapper from Corpus Christi, Texas, the best, if you ask me. And Gabe Parker was his like Dr. Dre, right? And they would drop music and projects and singles together all the time. And he became quickly well known for his craftsmanship and what he does best, which is crooning those hooks that you hear on Famous and producing fire radio ready beats like you heard on Famous. So that's him producing and singing. You really can't miss with him. And he got that reputation pretty quick. So the irony is this is our first official record. Like I'm trying to think back of maybe we even got anything else where I'm a feature on someone else's record that he did the hook or produced on, but this is like our first piece of music together. And I inboxed him and I was like, man, we're overdue for one, Gabe. Like it's been how long we've known each other and we don't really got anything official out there. And um, he said, I got something for you. Not and it's not on my hard drive or anything like that, but I got something in my mind for you, specifically for you. And he shot me the price and we worked it out and it was worth the investment, investing in a good producer and songwriter like Gabe. And he shot me back the hook. I tweaked it a little. Just we can get into the nitty gritty of the making of it. I tweaked it a little on the hook, changed a few words, get you popping if you let me, and some other things. But that was him on the harmony. That was him on 95% of the writing as far as the hook goes. And really, I just had to do what I do and drop some self-explanatory verses and have some fun with it, based around the concept he sent me. And that's what I did. I just danced on it. And as long as it takes for you to listen to it, is as long as it took to record it. It was just that kind of day. We came back from a video shoot and we all went to the studio to just really kick back and they asked if anyone had anything to record, and I had that instrumental fresh on my Dropbox that Gabe had just sent. And yeah, we laid it down, one take, jaked it, and what you hear is what we did just off of a high we were feeling. And as soon as I put it in there, it was a good audience in the studio. It was one of those days where there was a lot of people in the studio, the producer, the label owner, some people from the video shoot where we were like, hey, you want to go see our studio or compound? And they were like, for sure. So we had people there. So they kind of wanted to kind of showcase something, like someone record something. And everyone it was like a little test group, if you will. And everyone was like unanimously like, this that shit's ready to go. Like that's the one. And so we went with it. It's not my deepest record by any means, but it's one of the more fun records, and my kids love it. And kids don't lie. So
Yeah, man, you get the love for the kids, and that's good, man. I bet they're the biggest critics of your music, other the their peers, because kids they're gonna feel some kind of way, you
mhm.
know. So, shout out to the kids, shout out to the
Yeah.
kids. That studio session definitely felt like a vibe. Like you already had the beat in place. It's a
Mhm.
matter of the vocals getting in there. So that had to be one of the most fun studio sessions you had. Just based out of just putting the song out the way that y'all want it. So I've heard the song a couple times. I'm like, yeah, man, this right here is goals. And the song did came out in September. But hey,
Yep.
that's the song you can play any season, even in the cold weather, so that we about to get into. Uh, but man, I dig this joint. Shout out to Gabe Parker. He
Mhm.
really did his thing on that track. A.B. Dvinci featuring Gabe Parker. The song is called Famous. It is the latest single. It is out on all the streaming platforms. So go check it out if you haven't already. So with that being said, now obviously we're getting to the holiday season, family time, spending time with loved ones, things like that. Um, so with that being said, you got maybe one more music out before the year's end, or
Mm.
or you looking into 2025? Like what's next for AB Da Vinci?
To be honest, it probably won't be another piece of music dropped in 2024. Definitely going to be in 2025. Right now, I'm content creating. I'm loading up on reels, on photo shoots, on merchandise. I need some merchandise, and we're recording in the album, the studio album, in the end of 2023. We got signed to 1836 Entertainment Group out of San Marcos, Texas, which is a record label, an independent record label, but with major distribution connections. But 1836 as a label is really just a group of guys who've been doing music for a long time, and they took some of their success money from records they produced, like Tipsy. the Jaquan album, and flipped that into a label. And they signed acts, a couple of acts out of Texas, and me and my former group being one of them. And I still got my deal with them. And so normally I would round up the year with a fourth quarter drop, but I'm kind of on their timetable. And to tell you the truth, I don't mind taking it a little bit slower anyways, because I really want to perfect these songs that I'm working on. I'm really trying to evolve as an artist, and it's gonna take a little bit of time. It's gonna take a little bit of honing in on some new skills that I'm building, like the guitar for one, harmonizing for another, things like that. And I don't want to rush. I think Famous is going to hold them over for a while. And if you've been on the DSPs, the platforms, you see my catalog's pretty extensive. So um, I think now I need to just get my name and my links out there and reel them in with something like Famous or So Far. That's another record I'm very proud of, and pull them in so they can explore the catalog. And there's plenty to explore and get acquainted with while I'm working on this new material that I really want to present it the right way. I guess like if we're using 2000 terms or my generation terms, like I guess think of everything before as the mixtapes, right? And now like I'm working on the album. Now it's kind of all the same. Like it just drops on the DSPs and they're just projects, period, right? EPs, singles, full albums. Um, and it's not really a studio album. It's just people record anywhere, everywhere. It's really just about how you mix it and master it now and present it. But anyhow, think of this as my studio album that I'm working on, where everything else was as serious and as much as I put into them and tried it and I treated them like an album. Think of those as just like the mixtape phases, as well produced as they are, because they're 99.9% original producers on all the projects. Like anything that has a jack beat type of thing, I don't think made it to the DSP. So they're all albums essentially, but this one it's gonna be more epic, if you will.
That's good to hear. It's good to, things worked out the way they had. Uh, Major distribution. That's pretty dope. Um, it just shows that there's people that really look at you as a looks and has some investment in you, and they want to work with you and help you evolve as an artist, help you elevate per se. So I want to ask you about the distribution because a lot of people tend to get it misconstrued. Like, top ex is tell the people exactly what is a measured distribution and what is that include in it as far as you as an artist? What does that include?
Well, distribution in layman's terms basically just means putting it out, right? Like
Yeah.
like distributing it to the people, getting it to the masses. And there's different ways of putting out your music, and everyone can be a distributor. I'm a distributor. Prior to Famous and what's coming after Famous, I distributed everything on DistroKid. DistroKid is a distributor, and they get them on your Spotify, your um Apple Music's, your anything, right? YouTube, you name it. Once you put it on DistroKid, it puts them out on all the other platforms for you. They do all the distributing. Whereas before in the 90s and 2000s, distribution meant that they would distribute it in stores. So if you got a distribution deal, you got your shit with a barcode, and it was at Best Buy, Sam Goody, FYE. Now everyone just distributes it on the platform, multiple ways to skin that cat. However, if you get distributed through like Sony, Universal, or Warner Brothers or something like that, um, they can place those, they'll be on the same DSPs, but they'll have perhaps the connections and just the Rolodex of people to call to get that record distributed and put on a Love and Hip Hop or a Netflix movie, or a Tubi movie for starters, or a commercial, anything like that. So anyone could be a distributor. It's just where is it going to be distributed to? How is it going to get to the masses? So you have all your now all your lanes, and it's up to you. At that point, though, if you have a distribution deal, it's not the same as like let's say a full-blown record deal that you would get back in the day where it would come with a marketing budget, a production budget. So they distribute, but then they also do the marketing and the advertising for you. Like a distribution deal is not that. You still have to do the legwork. You still got to play the bars, the clubs, sometimes even pay to play to get your name out there. If you don't have a budget, which I don't, there's not a huge budget for me. Um, Connections are there, and the sweat equity is there, is what they're putting behind us. But like I said, it's a group of guys trying to make something happen, but there's not like $1 million budget behind me. So therefore, we're doing a lot of grassroots marketing, but um, a branch of Warner Brothers is distributing, you know, for us. But we got to do the legwork. We still got to do be the muscle.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah, so even with that, still got to put in the work.
Hmm.
Still have to, record and everything else. But anything that you can have to your arsenal helps. So uh, that's good to know.
Like
Shout out to
1836, for example, right? And not to slight them, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, not to interrupt you, my friend, but like I
yeah,
just don't want to make them seem like what else are they good for? So like, for example, if you know any artists or if you ever been a recording artist, you have hourly rates for studio time. Whereas one of the benefits of being signed with 1836 is they have that facility. They have a professional studio with all the gadgets and bells and whistles you'll need to make your project, and they don't charge me. You know what I mean? They don't, there's no, that's something that money back in your pocket. So that is a budget per se, because they do charge people that are not artists to record there, because the engineers time.
yeah,
Sorry about that, I muted myself. But like the engineer's time and producer's time is worth 100 or more an hour, but I don't have to pay for that. So that's a budget in itself. So shout out to 1836 for all the amenities and everything they facilitate to get the project done. From the songwriters, producers, real musicians, guitar players, the studio they provide, booking me on tours. Where when you're an independent artist, you got to pay two, $400, $600, $1,000 for 10 to 15-minute slots to open up for a major artist. Whereas I've been put some pretty cool tours, like with Afroman, for example, and we got some others coming up, like with Paul Wall, Zero. Um, Hopefully a bigger one that I can't say too much about. But I won't have to be paying to get on these shows. The label handles that. So that's a marketing budget, if you will, that I don't have to pay for. So shout out to 1836, I guess is what I'm saying. Appreciate you for believing in me and investing in my music.
yeah. Shout out to 1836, man. Shout out to all the artists out there, Austin, Texas, ATX, an incredible scene from the artists that I've gotten to interview these past few years. Definitely opened my eyes, especially to the hip hop scene. A lot of good talent, a lot of people really grinding, putting in the work. So just making a name for themselves, man. It's very important for the fans out there, man, to keep supporting these artists, keep spreading the word, keep sharing the links, share the social medias and the music that they put out, old and new. Um, Anything helps, and the artists trying to go beyond the local and get into that bigger stage. So you know, everybody's doing their thing, man. It's just a matter of people keep supporting and spreading the word. It's just what it boils down to. So, AB Dvinci, man, check out the song Famous featuring Gabe Parker. It's out on all the streaming platforms. He's got something for y'all in 2025. So just
Mhm.
keep the numbers up for Famous, and he'll be ready for y'all in 2025, man. So at least keep vibing to it, keep adding to your playlist and everything like that. So I want to thank you, AB, for joining me on the show. It's great to have this chat with you. I want to give a shout out to Tavion Marshall. I want to shout him out. Um, I've interviewed so many artists through him. He's been very helpful of just bringing artists like yourself, and just adding playlists and stuff like that. So shout out to Tavion Marshall, very good dude,
Yeah.
very supportive of local and independent music. So shout out to him. Shout out to you, man, for all you've done and what you continue to do, entering the new year. So I'm definitely looking forward to this full length project you got coming in 2025. So thank you, man. And you got any final words you want to say to the people, man?
Thank you for having me. Shout out to Tavarion Marshall. I'm just gonna double down on what you said. A great supporting member of the music scene in the Austin community and the Texas community. And shout out to Austin music scene as a whole for embracing me coming up from Corpus. And shout out to Corpus for still holding me down and still supporting me as if I've never left. And Texas, um, in general, because we've been touring a lot through here and it's been nothing but love from the Valley to Waco. So thank you, Texas, for your support. And yeah, we're trying to take it to the next level. Thank you all for helping and supporting. Thank you, my friend.
Yes, sir. I've always admired Texas, for a very long time. I've visited Houston a very long time ago. It's a wonderful city. And I've admired the state, for the music, the Scarface,
Mm.
the UGKs. And then they had that year with Mike Jones, Paul Walker, Millionaire, Zero. I've always admired Trey the Truth, so underrated as an artist. I've liked Trey, Killer Calion. I mean, man, the list goes on and on, man. Just so many people.
Yeah,
Um, and Texas, they had a big year, and that's this, and hopefully people like you guys can be that next generation of Texas artists that's keep pushing things forward. You know what I'm saying? Because Texas, they are more than just the grills, the cars, and the fancy stuff, man. There's artists like yourself with the substance and everything, and some balance.
hmm,
To show people that that's more than what you see uh, on the TVs and stuff.
yes,
Uh,
sir.
so thank you again, AB. Continued success. You're definitely in the holiday spirit. So happy holidays to you and your family. And I look forward to 2025, man. You have a good night.
Likewise, happy holidays to you and your family as well. Take care. You
All
have a good
right.
one.
Peace.
Bye bye. Peace.
Peace. All right.